time it is for another episode of The Locker Room. We've got big things coming. Listen, this co-partnership is only like 3 or 4 episodes in, so it's only going to get better. We want to thank you for joining us once again. What's going on, Justin?
Hey, what's going on, guys? And let's be honest, you only tune in to listen to me. All right, I'm the only one that's got the good takes on this show. So
I haven't built a reputation or, slaved away at 87 episodes, but, it's fine.
Hey, I bring the heat. All right?
You do bring the heat. There was a lot of heat being brought last episode. Once again, everybody, if you want to keep up to date with everything that the Locker Room has going on, if you want to stay up to date, if you want to join us for exclusive content, exclusive TikToks, exclusive videos, make sure you're following the Locker Room. TLR Podcast 615. That is TLR Podcast 615 on all social media, so you can stay up to date with everything we've got going on. All right, now let's get into it. We have an NFL-filled morning on the podcast. Some massive moves happen, and I mean massive moves, not just in dollar amount, but in player amount and in value. So, Justin, let's talk about it.
Yeah, man, this has been, I want to say, arguably one of the craziest free agencies I've ever seen. Like, it's just been, we can just say it right now. I mean, the AFC has literally all the good teams, and then in the NFC you got Tom Brady. So it's Tom Brady versus the All-Stars.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what the West is right now.
Yeah, it is loaded. And we're going to talk about the divisions here in just a second. We're going to talk about, of course, all the different trades going on. But I feel like the NFL is kind of taking after the NBA a little bit in player movement.
I think so too.
We've not seen this much player movement ever in the NFL. And
now players are getting more empowered.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Do stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Just like the NBA is. I mean, the NBA is if you whine and bitch enough, you'll get sent to whatever team you want to.
Yeah, if you're Kyrie, oh my gosh, I can't win on my own. Oh my gosh, where are you, LeBron? I need you.
Yeah, send me to Brooklyn. Oh,
yeah,
I need
send
to
me to Brooklyn. I got hurt last year, so I missed the playoffs. Okay, I'm back this year. Oh well, actually, no, not so fast.
Yeah, I mean the NBA. Ever since LeBron went to Miami, the NBA has just been, all right, I'm just going to whine enough so I'll get out of here. We've got James Harden, Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant literally lost to a team and then said, well, I'm just going to go join a super team. But this is the first time I think we've seen it in the NFL where the NFL is starting to get player movement and player empowerment, which I is unsettling a little bit because we're not used to this. But I do think it will be beneficial. I hope it doesn't fall into the same category that the NBA does, which is the NBA, they build super teams, that super team wins a championship, then one of those superstar players bitches and goes to another team. I hope that's not what we're getting, and I hope the Los Angeles Rams didn't ruin that for us by getting Matt Stafford, by trading for Odell Beckham Jr. I really hope, by getting Von Miller, I really hope that the NFL is not just going to become everybody load up on one team, let's win our one Super Bowl, and then we'll load up on another team. I hope that's not where this is going, but let's talk about all the free agent signings, especially the big ones here. I mean, there's a bunch of small pieces. Robert Woods was a decent pickup.
Some huge pieces made.
I think Pringle was a good pickup for the Bears. Like, there's a lot of small pickups that have been made out there, but let's talk about the big ones.
Yeah. Deshawn Watson. What do you think about Deshawn Watson with the Browns? I mean, we all know he's going to get suspended at some point, all right? It's going to happen, folks. He's not going to play every single game this next year. Now, it's how many games he does get suspended for. And I think the Browns, by signing Jacoby Brissett, by signing him...
Yeah, they knew it.
They want to run the same offense they're going to run with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And that's what Jacoby Brissett can do. Of course, nowhere near on the level of Deshaun Watson, but they can run the same offense when he's in there and then when Deshaun Watson gets back. Now, I'm so curious on how many games Deshaun Watson's going to get. It's either going to be like, I don't know, I'm going to say it right now, 10 games he's going to get suspended.
10? You think he's going to get suspended 10?
I'm going to say he's going to get suspended for 10 games.
I think the NFL, because he already has been out a year, they'll probably do just a smack on the wrist. I say he gets 4 or 5 games, but...
Now, here's the thing, though. Like, the allegations he got accused of, and I say accused because it hasn't been proven yet, But at a certain, like, they're pretty serious.
Well, it's kind of like Cosby. Once a certain amount of people come out, it's just like, okay, maybe you've done something.
Yeah,
You're not
like,
perfect.
One, okay, I can see how they could be lying.
Yeah.
All right, two, okay, I can still see that.
Yeah.
Three, all right, we're flirting with danger. 4, okay.
22?
Then it gets like, all right, not all, every single one of these women aren't lying. All right, there's some truth to what's happened. And I'm going to be interested in when the cases are going to be settled, because
I know he's settled 2 already, right? For several.
No,
million.
he hasn't done any of them. He wants to do them. He said he wants to do them all at once.
Oh well, good thing is he just got paid an insane amount of money.
5 years, guaranteed $250 million.
Yeah, 250, 230, somewhere around
there. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, and it definitely, man. I'm telling you, the AFC is a beast this year. You've got the Raiders.
Well, let's stay on Deshaun for a second, because I got a couple things I want to talk about with Deshaun. All right, so first off, I didn't think Deshaun was going to Cleveland. I mean, all the signs were pointing for him going to Atlanta, and I think Colin Cowherd said it the best. Atlanta's the Hollywood of the South, right? That he's originally from that area. Like, I assumed he was going to go to Atlanta, link up with young Kyle Pitts, and they were going to try and make it work there. And the rumor is that Leonard Fournette and some other guys were on their way to Atlanta if he were to sign there. And then basically, from what I'm hearing, the Browns gave him the most guaranteed money up front.
Yeah, that's what it was. Not all those teams weren't guaranteeing him $250 million upon signing. The only team that would do that was Cleveland, and that's ultimately why he signed with them.
Yeah,
it's because he was like, you're going to give me $100 million, or I can get.
He needs a safety blanket, and we dropped a water bottle here. But he needs a safety blanket if he gets into any trouble. Also, we don't know how much money he's going to be paying for all these allegations that are on the way, right? So I think ultimately the only reason that only motivating factor he had in Cleveland was the money.
Would you rather have Cleveland's roster, or would you rather have Atlanta's roster?
Yeah. I mean, Atlanta.
I think it's an easy.
Especially with Russell Gage being gone, I think that's going to hurt Atlanta more than people think.
Well, you got Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb.
You got a great offensive line.
Njoku, great offensive line. Amari Cooper, Donovan People-Jones, like Rashad Higgins, like it's a killer team, bro. I'm telling you, the AFC is the AFC North and the AFC West. Oh my goodness!
Now, what do you think about Deshaun's performance coming back? You can't step away from something for a year and come back and automatically ball.
Well, he's been working out by himself and stuff like that. I know it's not the same. As playing in an NFL game. But this dude was a top 3 quarterback when he was playing with the Texans. He took a crappy Texans team to the playoffs. Crappy. Nobody as a receiver. Nobody.
Well, he had Will Fuller if he would ever stay healthy, and he had D-Hop.
No, he didn't have D-Hop. Not at the last year. D-Hop
not the last year, but he had D-Hop and Will Fuller.
Yeah, but
he had some pieces.
But that last year with the Texans, he took him to the playoffs. No namers. He took him there. And say what you want, he's still a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, even right now. And he's going to come back and ball out for them.
Theoretically, he should step back out on the field and be just fine.
He's going to. His game translates.
I don't know if there's going to be any adjustment that has to be had. I think there is going to be. But either way, Cleveland won this trade, right? The one thing Cleveland has always gotten wrong is the quarterback. And if they weren't able to move off of Baker Mayfield for Deshaun Watson, they would have been stuck with Baker Mayfield, who I don't think is a bad quarterback. Baker Mayfield's an okay to good starting quarterback in this league, but he's not going to be that quarterback that's going to put you over the hump. Their roster is built to go for the championship now. So I think Deshaun Watson inevitably, it was a win. The only thing that if I'm a Browns owner, if I'm a Browns coach, the only thing that worries me is Deshaun Watson's off-field allegations, just for the simple fact that this is a problem that we don't know if it's ever going to go away. We don't know if anybody else is going to ever come out. So you are taking a gamble here, but overall, I think the Browns won this trade.
I think both teams won the trade.
Yeah.
We'll go on the Texans here in a second, but as we stay on Deshaun Watson, you've also got to keep in your mind that the feds could take this case up at any time. And
Yeah.
a new district attorney could come in and be like, screw Deshawn Watson, we're prosecuting him criminally for these charges.
Yeah.
Like, all it takes is one new prosecutor, takes the feds to jump in, you know, and then it takes these people to finally agree on a settlement so you can get these lawsuits figured out, because they're not going away.
Not for a while.
No matter how much you want it to go, they're not going away. And the only way they can is if Deshaun Watson needs to swallow his pride, and he needs to settle these lawsuits as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pulling a Jesse Smollett where he's like, I'm still innocent, nothing. And it's just like, all right, listen, Jesse, we have mounds of evidence, video evidence, like we have eyewitness testimony. We have testimony from the two guys that you paid to beat you up. Like at some point, Deshaun, like just stop being the victim here. Claim some sort of responsibility and get it done. All right, now let's talk about some other free agents that were signed out there, because Davante Adams is no longer a Green Bay Packer, and from the Windy City we are. You do not know how.
Let's go!
You do not know how excited we are. Aaron Rodgers, and I think this is a poetic way for him to die, right?
I love
Aaron Rodgers bought this billion dollar island, right? And then the Green Bay Packers said, not only did we just give you an island, but now we're going to take the boat, the planes, the ship. You're stuck.
Yeah,
so
we're taking
Aaron Rodgers
everything.
is going to literally be stranded on an island. He has no weapons. He doesn't even have a number 2 wide receiver anymore, unless Valdez-Scantling finally comes back. And I'm not even going to consider Valdez-Scantling a number 2 receiver. He's
your best receiver right now. They've got Randall.
Randall Cobb. And
Randall
how
Cobb's
old is
old ass
yeah.
can't do shit.
Yeah,
He can't do anything.
How old is? I mean, you can say shit. You've said it 1,000 times on this podcast.
I mean,
already.
you're right, folks. Let's not pretend.
Yeah, but like, I love it. I love it. Well, and I thought it was interesting that in his farewell to the city of Green Bay, to the coaches, he just said, thanks to my teammates. He didn't give a personal shout out to Aaron Rodgers. If that does not show you what a piece of trash
Aaron Rodgers is a piece of human garbage.
I hate
piece
that man.
of crap. Aaron Rodgers is
Your own all-star player that you gave every target to literally just said deuces, and also Aaron Rodgers, you can go screw yourself.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a little crybaby, man. All he wants to do is me. Give me all the money you can. And yes, I understand. I'm not saying his money was the reason Davante Adams left, because it wasn't. But Davante Adams knew he's a little bit of a prick, all right? I don't want to be with a guy who might retire next year.
Yeah.
Davante Adams is wanting to. He's got a lot more years in front of him. He doesn't want to be like. He doesn't want to pull this Brett Favre crap where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna retire next year. Never mind. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna retire. I'm coming back."
And like, here's the thing: would you rather have a work with a coworker that's an asshole to you, but you make a little bit more money, or would you rather just go somewhere else where you know that your coworker is going to have your back? Derek Carr and him are friends, like very good friends. They hang out in the offseason.
The boys from Fresno State.
Yeah, they hang out in the offseason all the time. Apparently, they're actual friends.
No, they're best friends.
Yes.
Like they're really good friends.
To me, it's a no-brainer. It completely made sense, and I appreciate. And I've never said this sentence in my life. I appreciate that the Packers organization didn't do him dirty. They didn't say, we're holding on to you no matter what. And they gave him a great pat on the back, thank you for being who you are, and they sent him to his best friend. So I was actually pretty impressed by the organization of Green Bay.
Yeah, no, I was, they did him, they definitely handled this well. And, yeah. I can't believe, well, I'm so happy that this day has come, because Aaron Rodgers is about to get his ass handed to him this next season.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay's in some serious trouble. But what kind of weapon does this make the Las Vegas Raiders, you might ask? Well, the Las Vegas Raiders, before one of their players decided to literally go 312 miles an hour and kill a lady and her dog, were a very dangerous team. And even later this season, without all of the weapons, with Derek Carr literally throwing to Hunter Renfrow, they made some impressive victories, impressive strides towards the end. So now they pick up Chandler Jones. Now they pick up Davante Adams. You have Derek Carr.
Dogs.
You have Josh Jacobs. What does this say about the Las Vegas Raiders now?
Well, first of all, they picked up 2 dogs in free agency, because Chandler Jones will work his tail off for anybody to play, especially Josh McDaniels and his defensive scheme. Oh, Chandler Jones is about to have a monster of a year. And then Josh McDaniels, he knows how to use his receivers. That's his patented thing. He's good with using receivers. He's good with, getting what's good out of the crappy receivers that they had in New England. And so now he's got a Hall of Famer in Devontae Adams. So I think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
We would assume.
Yeah, it's kind of. But
and Hunter Renfrow is no slouch.
But you got to think you got him. You've got Darrell Walker or.
Now that you said it wrong, now I'm going to say it wrong.
Yeah, why the fuck?
De'Aaron Waller.
Yeah, De'Aaron Waller. Yeah.
Who is a top 2 or 3
Yeah, then you got
tight end.
Josh Jacobs with Hunter Renfrow and then Devontae Adams. Man, but we're about to go on and talk about the other teams in the division. They had to do that. Like, this is the best division I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
I think ever. I don't think I've ever seen a division this stacked before.
This
is going to be good. This is going to be really good.
I saw a couple of analysts talk about they need to take 2 teams from that division, move it over to the NFC West, and just so we can try and balance out the NFL, because whoever is coming out of that division, I'm not going to lie, is probably going to win the Super Bowl.
They very might.
The Los Angeles Chargers added Khalil Mack to now pair with Bosa.
J.C. Jackson.
Man. Oh, my goodness.
They franchise tagged Mike Williams.
Yeah.
So they got him back. They'll probably add a running back. Their offensive line is great.
Austin Eckler.
Well, it's not great, but their offensive line is very, very, very improved. And so, yeah, man, J.C. Jackson and then Khalil Mack with that. Whew, that's a scary team too.
Now, were there any other free agency pickups that you saw kind of caught your eye a little bit?
Matt Ryan to the Colts. That really,
that was
crazy.
Broke,
That's insane. And then we got Ngakoue went to the Colts too, so that's going to help them with another pass rusher. I think the Colts did really well. But my team right now that won all of free agency, Cincinnati Bengals.
Interesting. Do tell.
So they got that lineman from the Bucks, Ali Marpet. Then they got the Collins from.
They got Landon Collins from the Cowboys.
From the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They just added another. They bolstered their offensive line like crazy.
Which is what we were worried about, that they would have to go into the draft for the next 3 years to try and build that up.
Yep.
And that was the biggest weakness.
That was their biggest weakness. Now they've completely fixed that. And now Joe Burrow is going to have time to throw to. He's going to have time to actually throw to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Man, Cincinnati Bengals did really well.
Yeah,
but they needed to, because you got the Ravens are not. They're coming back healthy. Lamar Jackson will be back. They're scary. And then you got Deshawn Watson. But like we said, we don't know, how many games he's going to be able to play, how many games he's going to be suspended for. So, not sure about that, but the Bengals definitely winners in free agency, because they needed to bolster their offensive line, and man, they sure did.
I think what we've seen over the years, especially as of late, is if you pay for what you need in free agents, then your draft doesn't weigh as much. It's not as important. So often teams rely on their first round and the second round draft picks. That they rely on that pick to make or break their upcoming season when they don't spend in free agency. So I like that we're starting to see teams be aggressive with their money, be aggressive with their cap space. It's the new way of football. You have to go out there and pay for what you want and then draft complimentary. You can't, a lot of times, unless it's in the first round, you can't draft an immediate starter unless you're looking for a quarterback, right? Because top 5 quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, there will never be another quarterback, and you know this, that will be available at the age of 26 like a Deshaun Watson on his level. This is just a unique circumstance that you're never going to see.
I think that's true to a certain extent. If you've got your quarterback in stone, you've got somewhat of a some veteran players that know how to play the game, that've been there for a while, they can adjust. Then I feel like, what, fuck the draft picks, you don't need them anymore. Just go all in, all right? That's when I think you go all in and pay crazy for free agency. Now, if you're like one of the Lions, teams like that aren't anywhere close to being a Super Bowl team, that's when I think you kind of build it up in the draft, because you're not in a win now mode, and then those draft picks are more valued, and you can build those guys up to be what these other teams that are paying for these all-star players, but they're in win now mode. And so by the time, that star player finally adjusts to your system, well, he could be retired,
Yeah.
But
that makes sense. That makes sense that I guess that's the better way to put it. If you're in win now mode, free agency is where
pay
you
like crazy.
Is
if you're
where
in win now
yeah.
mode.
If you're in win now mode, free agency is where you're going to win, not necessarily the draft. All right, now so you gave me a team that you thought won this free agency market so far. What about a team that's lost free agency market so far? I mean, there's one team that comes to my mind immediately. It's not even close.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for me, my loser in the draft my loser in free agency, has to be Green Bay. I mean,
Okay.
Green Bay lost Devontae Adams. Their best receiver is Randall Cobb. And I want to know how Aaron Rodgers feels about this. So I'm going to be listening on the Pat McAfee show on tomorrow to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to say about this. But, yeah, I think the Packers are probably my biggest losers for the free agency.
Well, according to Aaron Rodgers, when Aaron Rodgers likes to run his mouth, but Aaron Rodgers said that he knew Devontae Adams wasn't going to get re-signed before he signed it. I don't believe him. He's such a liar.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good one. I'll start with my loser of the free agency, and then I'll end with my winner. So my loser of free agency is the Dallas Cowboys. Because here's why.
That's a good one. That's a really
Aaron
good one.
Rodgers at least was re-signed by Green Bay. At least they didn't lose him and Devontae. So they'll be a playoff contending team just for the simple fact that Aaron Rodgers is there. Dallas? What are you doing? They literally... So
Randy Gregory, see ya. Cedric Wilson, see ya.
Well, here's
Mark
the deal.
Cooper, see ya.
Landon Collins, see ya.
Landon Collins, see ya. They lost 2 receivers, offensive linemen, their second pass rusher. The Cowboys royally messed up big time.
Well, and here's the deal. Dallas is usually very aggressive in the free agency market. But I think that we're seeing that the model that the Dallas Cowboys keep producing out there isn't going to be a model of success. They keep losing, and they keep doubling down on their quarterback, and they keep losing in the first round of the playoffs because they're not building the right way. And I thought it was interesting that they lost so many people and they never got anybody back. Being such a key market name, a key market city, a key market value, they have the top of the line of everything, and they just lost and lost and lost. I was blown away that they weren't able to. They re-signed Leighton Vander Esch. Oh, congratulations. Somebody who has had a neck injury the last 3 seasons and has played a total of 13 games. So I'm very shocked that the Dallas Cowboys, they lost Amari Cooper. Didn't even think about that one. Holy hell. They just, a complete downfall blows my mind. A complete downfall for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, now the team that I think won free agency. I think it's the Cleveland Browns. I mean, you get a franchise quarterback, a top 3 guy, a top 5 guy in the NFL before he gets suspended. Even if he comes back in the top 7, you've won because he's better than Baker Mayfield. You get how many weapons? I mean, yes, you lost Jarvis Landry. Yes, you lost Odell. But
well, you hear Jarvis Landry's trying to come back.
Well, and
guess who else is trying to come there? Mr. Antonio Brown himself.
No, I would stay away from that. Talk about a recipe for
once
disaster.
Once he saw Deshawn Watson went there, Antonio Brown's like, oh, hey, I'll go. Hey, Cleveland, I'll sign with you. Hey, what about when we had Baker? You didn't want to sign with us? Ah, nah. I'm gonna sign with Deshaun. I want to sign with you guys because Deshaun Watson is your quarterback.
If I was their masseuse, that is a dangerous combination. Antonio Brown and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, man. Talk about
where'd Amari Cooper end up going?
Amari Cooper went to the Browns.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to point that out there. Amari Cooper to the Browns, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. They got a great offensive line, arguably top 5 in the NFL.
We didn't even say this.
What?
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, I'll get to
the Chiefs.
Let's talk about that in a second. Let me finish my Browns point. There's not really a weakness on the Browns. Their defense plays inconsistent, but their defense is a top 5 roster in the NFL. And you just added a quarterback. That is without a doubt a winner for sure for me in free agency. Now let's go to Juju Smith-Schuster, a very sneaky pickup from a very dangerous Kansas City Chiefs team. They needed a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster to pair with a Tyreek Hill and to pair with a Travis Kelce. They needed that so badly. A bigger, more physical wide receiver that could offset the speed of Tyreek Hill and then can offset the playmaking ability of a Travis Kelce. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be a firepower offense from now until Patrick Mahomes' arm falls off. And the last thing we needed to give him is more ammunition to shoot at and to throw to, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, you got Tyreek Hill on the side. It just makes the Chiefs that much dangerous. Now, what they can do is Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster, they can do like the intermediate routes. They can run the short routes. They can, just get in those little pockets, 10 yards out, and then catch those. And then you got Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman to be the burners.
To be your verticals.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the only way. I mean, if we look at the Cowboys offense when they were successful is when they had Galladay, it's when they had Cooper, it's when they had a mixture of wide receivers. And that's the biggest thing is they now have an arsenal of wide receivers that can burn you deep, they can burn you in between the sticks. They've got stick movers and Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster. And I mean, here's the deal. People were talking about Juju Smith-Schuster being washed up. He had Ben Roethlisberger who was on one leg, one arm, one finger, one toe for the last 2-3 years of his career. So I think that's a very, very sneaky pickup. Any other free agents that you wanna talk about or hit up before we move on to some NCAA bracket busters?
No, I mean that we pretty much hit most of the big ones. But man, the Jets did really well too. I'll give the Jets a little dark horse shout out. They did really well in free agency.
What about the Bills? I do want to talk about this. What about the Bills
Von Miller
selling out 6 years for Von Miller?
They're in a win now mode. Just like I was saying earlier, if you're in win now mode, if you got the quarterback and you've got some of the veteran players around the team, in key spots or just in general, you need those veteran players to get those young guys going.
Yeah.
You go all in. I don't care if I don't want to give up screw the first round picks.
Yeah, I don't.
Josh
I don't
Allen
understand
doesn't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have just like the Lakers.
100. I was just about to say it.
Forget the pick. Screw the pick. You should have traded a pick and Russell and Westbrook out of there. But instead they're like, plan for the future. LeBron doesn't give a F about this.
I mean, you can go ahead and say it. You've already said it.
You're right. Let's be honest. But LeBron doesn't give a fuck about this stupid draft pick. All right, he doesn't give a. He's going to be out of the league by that point. He's going to not be playing basketball for them anymore. Fuck it. Go all in. Well, I mean, Nobody cares.
I said you could say it
Nobody
once.
cares. Go all in. If you're in win now mode, go all in.
I think what he's trying to say is that if you're in win now mode, guys, you should go all in. And also, fuck it, because that is his new go-to phrase.
That is correct.
Right. There's some NFL free agency for you. Now, let's get into some NCAA bracket busters.
My stupid bracket is just so fucked right now.
Well, all right. Well, I didn't say just let it go, okay? We're still somewhat of a family. Or we were a family show until I got this co-host. The explicit label on the podcast, you're correct, is from Justin.
Yes. Sorry, folks. Folks. I got a sailor's mouth, all right? I got a sailor's mouth.
I used to say, like, damn or hell, and people would be like, oh, and then Justin just comes on and he goes, fuck this, fuck that. I mean, just doesn't.
Man, see, now he's letting him out, folks. Now he's letting him out. I like it. I like that. I like the coaches that say fuck it or stuff like that.
Trust me, my volleyball girls know. I mean, I don't say... Okay, yeah, I can't even deny that. Yeah, my girls know. I swear quite a bit. All right, let's get into some brackets here for a second. All right, so there's no doubt that this bracket has already been busted. I'm not going to lie, my bracket's still doing okay. I had Kentucky getting bounced in the second round, so when St. Pete's upset them, it wasn't major for me. I had Tennessee getting upset in the second round, so that wasn't major for me. So I got a lot of the weird upsets, but I didn't pick the right ones at the beginning. And this is what I love about March Madness. There's no predictability. A 15 seed can beat a 1 seed. A 16 seed can beat a 2 seed. It doesn't matter. They can come out there and they can show up because it is a winner takes all on that game. And what's so amazing about March Madness is you have to perform at the right moment. The worst teams can win. The best teams can lose. March Madness is so exciting. So let's talk about some of our favorite upsets of round 1. I'm definitely going to say St. Peter's is one of my favorites just for the simple fact that Kentucky fans had all this bass in their voice. They're running their mouths. They're so excited. And look what happens. Same thing that happens to Kentucky every year. You've been running your mouth. You get 1 or 2 good players, and then Kentucky crashes. So St. Pete's is one of my favorite upsets going on right now. All of you, I know I have a ton of fans that are UT fans. I have a ton of listeners that are UT fans. And I told you never put your faith in good old Rocky Top. Justin sat here last week, good old Rocky Top, for 45 minutes.
Folks, it didn't end well for me.
No. Now, the North Carolina pick is interesting.
That's my team.
That's interesting.
That's not my team, but
yeah,
I picked that team to win.
But I'm saying that was an interesting pick, and it's an interesting pick still. So you might be right on that hill, but you died on the UT hill just like all the other UT fans, and yet again, Tennessee does what they always do. Choke, they disappoint. Justin, what are some of your favorite upsets so far in the tournament?
So I would definitely say North Carolina beating Baylor would be one of mine.
What a game, right?
Yeah, what a
27 seconds, Baylor comes back and ties it to send it to overtime. Then North Carolina puts the whooping on them. That was incredible.
Yeah, what a game. And then, of course, like you said, St. Peter's over Kentucky. Nobody likes Kentucky. All right, let's be honest. If you're a Kentucky listener on here, you should probably go crawl in bed with your favorite blanket and start sucking your thumb because no one likes you guys, all right? Just pointing that out right there. Nobody likes Kentucky, so it's always good to see Kentucky lose.
What about, I think Miami was another one of mine that was very interesting. They're a dangerous team.
Miami over Auburn was another one of my favorite upsets. Like, And
convincingly so.
Yeah.
79-61. It was not a 2-point close game. And then Iowa State, which is another very, very good team, is who Miami faces next. But the fact that Miami is coming out firing on all cylinders so far in this bracket, I'm mind blown at what's gone on so far.
I think they're going
to... Miami beat Iowa State.
Yeah.
What I meant to say was Miami versus Kansas is going to be a very interesting matchup. And I think that they have a very good opportunity to take down another big beast. Miami's got a dynamic point guard.
Yep.
They're fast. They can rebound. And they're playing the best ball at the right moment. And that's it.
I think they can beat Kansas. They very well can. Who would be your championship pick right now out of the teams we got in the Sweet 16? So I'm gonna name them for you, all right?
Okay.
You got Gonzaga versus Arkansas, but you don't have to tell me that. I'm just gonna give you the list of the teams.
Yeah.
You tell me your favorite to win.
Hit me.
Gonzaga to win.
Yeah,
Arkansas.
I've got
Arkansas.
I've got
Texas
Gonzaga.
Tech.
Do you want to go one by one or?
Well, I'm just gonna name all the teams, and you can just pick. You can just tell me your favorite one, like your favorite pick to win.
I've got Gonzaga over Arkansas right now.
No, I'm saying like your favorite team out of all the teams listed.
Who's projected to be my champion?
Who's projected to be your champion?
Well, Gonzaga's projected to be my champion.
Okay, so Gonzaga over all the teams that you would say would be the champions as of right now?
Let's go game by game because I think there's a lot of interesting points that we can hit here. So Gonzaga versus Arkansas. I like Gonzaga. Drew Timme balled out last game. He did what he did best, and that's what I like about this team is Drew Timme has the experience. Chet Holmgren has the upside. So you might get a big game from Chet. You know that you're always going to have a big game from Timme. That's what I think makes Gonzaga so dangerous, and they're going to go ahead and I have them, of course, winning the championship. But Arkansas is running out of luck, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, Gonzaga is just... Drew Timme's a beast, and he's about to show out again.
Yeah.
And Gonzaga is definitely my pick.
My favorite, by the way, is Drew Timme trying not to swear on national television. He goes, I told him at halftime, I don't give a flying F what happens. We're not going to go out here like a bunch of soft men. And so I was like, so what you're trying to say is I don't give a flying fuck what happens. We're not going out here like a bunch of pussies. We're going to play our asses off. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was like, oh, wow, okay. So him trying not to swear on national television was the greatest thing ever. But go ahead. Keep going down that list.
All right, now we got Texas Tech and Duke, which you obviously, we all know.
Yeah,
Duke's
Duke
my champion, so yeah. I've definitely got to go Duke here.
And here's the deal. Duke is starting to play its best ball now, too. That win over Michigan State, when they went down 5, I thought it was over. 70-65. I was like,
oh, yeah, I did
this
too.
is where we've seen Duke teams in the last couple of years that didn't have, even teams that did have Zion Williamson. This is where we saw them fold, and I think they're playing with a special kind of passion for Coach K. Wouldn't you think?
I think this is, I don't know, I think it's just all shaping out to where he's going to win a championship and ride off into the sunset.
I mean, that's what we all want to see.
Let's be honest. That's what everybody wants to see.
When they make a movie on Coach K in a couple years, that's the movie we want to watch. So I like Duke in that matchup. I think I picked Texas Tech in my bracket, but I'm secretly rooting for Duke. I just chose with my gut because I've always seen Duke choke recently in big moments, kind of like Tennessee and Kentucky and Kansas. So that's going to be a fun, interesting matchup, and I think it's going to come down to can Roach impact the game like he did against Michigan State?
Yeah, I think the big part is Banchero. Banchero, if he plays well, Duke's gonna beat Texas Tech for sure. Now let's go to the next game. You've got UCLA versus North Carolina, and of course, I have North Carolina winning. So I believe that they're way better than UCLA. I believe the two big guys are the best two, other than Purdue, they're the second best two-headed monster in all of college basketball.
Better than Gonzaga, too?
Better than Gonzaga's. Yeah, I'm going to go better than Gonzaga's.
All right, well, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is where he does heroin and continues the show.
I'm going with North Carolina to knock off those sorry UCLA Bruins.
UCLA's not been playing great, and honestly, Oregon's beat them twice this year, and Oregon just lost in the NIT. So I'm with you. This is where I think you're in the right vein here. North Carolina is a very, very dangerous team. North Carolina's going to take this game as well.
Yes, 100%. Totally agree, and I don't think it's going to be any close. All right, the next game we got, Purdue versus St. Peter's. I think we all know. Yeah.
This is where the Cinderella ends. Let's be honest. St. Peter's is a cute story, just like Oral Roberts, just like VCU, just like Loyola Chicago, just like when Lehigh beat Duke. These are one of those cute stories, right? It's awesome. We're excited. The coach is excited. It's a great group of guys who have worked their asses off. Sadly, they have to play a Purdue team that is arguably, and we'll talk about sleepers. I don't want to get into that yet. We're going to talk about sleepers to end the show. But Purdue is a very, very dangerous team, and they are playing that guard. I can't think of his name all of a sudden. What's the guard's name? Oh, goodness. Ivy.
Yeah.
That kid is a Ja Morant with a jump shot. I mean, they even said it last night. He's one of the fastest kids we've seen with a basketball since Russell Westbrook when he was at UCLA. What a dangerous, dangerous guard to be balling out at the right moment. And then when you've got a guy like Levy down low who's 7'4", it just causes too many problems with you. And so does Williams is the other big man down low who had, 28, 29 yesterday. Purdue is a dangerous team. They're going to take down St. Pete's.
Yep, totally agree with you. All right, next game we got Arizona versus Houston.
Now, this one is a lot of trouble for Arizona. Arizona just played a great game yesterday. Great to watch, not necessarily a great game on their part. They executed at a very low level, a lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy missed layups. And Houston is a big, physical team that likes to get out and run, likes to put a body on you, and I don't know that we've seen Arizona get pushed physically as much as Houston will push you. I still have Arizona winning this matchup. I have Arizona making it to my championship against Gonzaga, but I did not like what I saw from Arizona last night.
They definitely didn't play so well, but I think Arizona easily takes this. I can't really see Houston beating them, to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I just, in my mind, I can't picture how they could beat them. So, I definitely have Arizona winning this game, and I have them winning it pretty handily. I think they're going to win it pretty handily. So,
all right, what's that final matchup? We've got Miami versus Kansas, correct?
So we got a couple more. We got 3 more games to go. We got Michigan versus Villanova.
Yeah. I forgot about that whole
Michigan
side of the
versus Villanova. And so in this one, Villanova is one of the best. They're winning.
Yeah, they're the best coach team. They're the more put together team. This is where Michigan's luck runs out. Their big man balled out against Tennessee, but also Tennessee tends to choke in these moments, so I don't put a whole lot of stock into that Michigan win. This is where they hit a brick wall in Villanova here.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Villanova's up there for. I wouldn't be shocked if they won the national championship.
We'll talk about sleepers here in just a second.
No doubt. All right, so now the next game we got is Kansas versus Providence.
That's right. I forgot about that matchup. Providence is going to give Kansas trouble because Creighton gave Kansas trouble, and Creighton beat Providence several times this year. I like Providence in this matchup. I don't
think Providence can match up. I just don't think Providence can match up with Kansas. I just don't think so. And so for that, I've got them winning. But man, I don't see how they can match up.
So you've got Kansas?
I've got Kansas beating them.
I like Providence. I think Providence has the more physical guard. I think they have the more physical guards, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. And I may or may not have put a couple bucks on them to win. So I guess we'll have to see how that rolls out for me.
I guess we'll have to see. All right, the last game we got. Iowa State versus Miami.
That's right.
I'm on the Kings the whole way. Miami's winning.
At this point, I might be with you just because Miami's playing such great basketball. But you know who else is playing great basketball? Iowa State. And you know who else they have? They have a top 5 player in the country right now, the lefty. What a monster that kid has been, right? Just an automatic 25 points a game. This is going to be a great matchup. I'm going to go Iowa State, even though I want to take Miami. I do. I just think that lefty, and I can't think of his name, of course, because the second you start recording, what people don't know is when you start recording, everything you know blanks out, and then you remember it the second you hit stop recording. But that lefty's just so good. He's an NBA player playing in college right now. I really like that matchup. All right, now let's talk about, I want you to give me 3 sleeper teams. So exclude Duke because we know you've picked Duke. I've picked Gonzaga. I want you to give me 3 teams that you think might inch their way up into that conversation. I will start it off to make it easy for you. Purdue is my number 1 spot here. Purdue is a team that the way that they're playing with Ivy, Levy, I love that dynamic duo that they've got going on. Purdue's a sleeper team right now for me to win the championship this year.
That's a great pick. They got everything to win it all, and they can definitely do it. So mine, the Miami Hurricanes.
Wow.
Now hear me out.
Okay, yeah, I was just about to ask.
Literally, I think they have the best point guard in all of college basketball in Charlie Moore. Charlie Moore is a beast. He's their Chris Paul. He is the one that sets the tone, and they've got great shooters. They've got a good big man, and they play hard each and every night. And so Miami is just one of my sleeper teams that eventually I would be kind of surprised, but if they won the championship, I would be like, yeah, I could see that. I could see how they could win.
That's not a bad pickup either. Another one of my specialties. Another one of my secret pickups to win the championship would be Houston. I like them. I do. I'm riding with them all the way. I love the fact that their guards are big and physical. Their guards like to play defense, which a lot of teams don't like to do in the country. And when you have guards that like to play defense, it sets the tone for the other team. And some teams are going to be able to respond to that and be dynamic, and some teams are going to shut down. And what we've seen so far is they shut down Illinois' guards by playing tough, made it hard on them. Houston is my second sleeper to make the championship.
Yeah, that's another good one. I think they've got all the tools to do it. They just need to do it. I think that's a good one. My next one would be North Carolina. And, that's just, they're a great team, great shooters, toughness about them, and I think that they're going to be my number 2 sleeper team.
All right, my final sleeper team here, and I've wrestled with this quite a bit because there's a couple teams that I really want to pick. I really want to be a Providence guy. I really want to be a Villanova guy. But I like Texas Tech. Texas Tech has got shooters. They've played in big games this year and won big games. They've lost big games. They're one of those just teams that if they catch you on the wrong night, Texas Tech can beat anybody and beat anybody by 30. They just have that kind of firepower on their team. They're a deep team. Now, do I think they can get out of the top of that bracket? Probably not, because I, of course, have Gonzaga winning it all. But Texas Tech is my final. I like them a little bit more than Villanova. I like them a little bit more than Iowa State or Miami. So Texas Tech to round out my final sleeper team to make the championship.
My last one is going to be the Michigan Wolverines.
Wow.
And now that Kofi Cockburn is out, they have the best big man. They have the second best big man.
Second best.
Holmgren's up there, or Drew Timmy's up there.
Yeah, Drew Timme, Holmgren. Yeah.
But Dixon's a beast, and I think They have good shooters, and they're a very big team. So I'm gonna pick them.
That's an interesting pickup. Listen, I'm not mad at it, and I hope that when we reconvene here next week, that maybe some of the stuff that we've talked about has come true. Listen, if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with everything we've got going on, TLR Podcast 615 on all of our social media. We thank you for listening to another episode of The Locker Room. We're only getting better here, folks. I told you we got a new dynamic duo. There's a lot of swear words coming. There's a lot more episodes coming. Justin, any final thoughts for the people?
Just remember, guys. Fuck it.
Yep, just remember, fuck it. And if you have children, do not let them listen to this podcast. Once again, everybody, I'm Jacob Courtwright.
I'm Justin Courtwright.
And this is The Locker Room.